The school's own motto is "Where Islam Meets America." Two Muslim scholars launching the first ever 4-year accredited Muslim college in the United States of America.
But is this controversial school being set up to educate or indoctrinate young Americans? Frank Gaffney is the president of the Center for Security Policy, and he has some thoughts on this morning. Good morning to you, Frank.
Good morning.
All right, so let's take a look at these two gentlemen who are starting up this college, which, by the way, will have a pilot class of 5 students in the fall of 2010, so right around the corner. You have Imam Zaid Shakir and Sheik Hamza Yusuf. You say that they have histories, their past is radical?
Well, in the case of Yusuf in particular, there is no question that prior to 9/11, he was one of the most explosive proponents of a really radical program in the United States. In fact, on 9/11, in the immediate aftermath of the attacks, the FBI went to his home to find out what he meant when he had said just 2 days before that the United States had in store a terrible tribulation for its past behavior. Turned out he was, headed to the White House for meetings with President Bush. So there was a sort of a problem with his record subsequent to 9/11 has been one of a sort of a makeover. But I think that he represents what I call the stealth jihad in America, an effort to promote in a sort of benign way this idea that Islam really should be a supremacist program inside the United States. And this university, college, institute, whatever he wants to call it, is a sort of microcosm of a much larger problem of Islam's Sharia program insinuating itself into our academic institutions.
All right, let's see what the college says. They say Zaytuna College aims to educate and prepare morally committed professionals, intellectuals, and spiritual leaders who are grounded in Islamic scholarly tradition and conversant with the cultural currents and critical ideas shaping modern society. Hard to get that on a bumper sticker, but doesn't seem necessarily threatening. Do you feel as though our intelligence agencies who have gone into mosques and put a ear to the wall to find out what's going on is also monitoring this?
This is my biggest concern at the moment. I got to tell you, Brian, I think that U.S. intelligence, law enforcement, military, homeland security departments are all being told, at the risk of, their careers, you don't want to fool with the religious program of Islam. And even if it is sort of serving as a cover for this Sharia political agenda and the stealth jihad that accompanies it, and oh, by the way, the violent jihad as well, these guys are being sort of discouraged from, I think, applying the kind of careful investigative techniques and monitoring surveillance techniques that are really required. And when you look at it as not just a single institution, but for example, as the Investor's Business Daily editorialized the other day, you'd see a program going on in our public schools, the curriculum in California, where 2 weeks of indoctrination, really, of how to be a Muslim and how to memorize, the profession of faith of Islam. Something never would have happened or can't happen with, Christianity or Judaism or any other faith, but it is happening. And in California, you see a template that's being established for the rest of the nation. That's the stealth jihad, and we've got to be alive to it, and I think pushing back. Sharia has no place in America, as far as I'm concerned.
Very interesting thoughts. Frank Gaffney, thanks for sharing your time with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
The president for Center for Security Policy. Meanwhile, straight ahead.